Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is go over the support and resistance patterns that we're looking for, and then we'll get into the weekly charts and do our support and resistance and just see if there's any changes. So the first pattern is going to be the red and then one blue and a green, and we're going to draw our lines using the top portion of the body and then the wick. Okay, and then the next pattern is going to be a red, two blue and a green, and we're going to use the highest body of the two blues and then the lowest wick of the two blues. Okay, and then we're looking for a green, blue and a green, and we're going to use the same as the first pattern, the highest portion of the body of the blue candle and then the wick as well. And then the last pattern for the support is going to be a green, two blue and a green, and we're going to use the same, the highest portion of the bodies from the blues and then the lowest wick of the two blues. Okay, now we'll go down into the resistance patterns, and it's just simply reverse of the support. So we're looking for a green, a blue and a red, and we've got our lowest portion of the body, and then we're going to use the wick. Okay, and then we've got a green, two blue and a red, and we're just looking for the lower portion of the bodies of the two blues and then the highest wick. Okay, and then we're going to be looking for a red, a blue and a red, and we're going to be doing the same as the first pattern here, drawing our first line at the bottom of the body and then using the wick as well. So our last pattern is going to be a red, two blue and a red, and we're just going to be using the bottom of the two blues bodies and our top wick. Okay, and that's it for our resistance patterns. So let's hop over into the charts. And we're going to start with the Aussie USD. And nothing's really changed. We're pushing to the upside. So if you did, we've already got this in from last week. We don't need to add anything else in. And we do have higher ones way back here, which is quite a ways up. So I'm not too worried about that hitting that yet. But if we did want to get into a long trade within this candle, you can always break it down and go to the daily and then start with where we're at and work our way down and see if you get anything that's closer than our weekly. And we don't, so if we push down, you can see right in this day here, we almost entered our zone for a buy, but we didn't. It didn't happen. And you'll see on the euro and the pound, the same thing. They kind of came down, but it didn't enter the zone there. So let's move on to the Euro USD, and we're in between the sell area here and also the buy area. You can see we came right into it last week and just touched it. So we can go down into the 1 hour here and have a little look at what's going on. And you can see right here, we came down and just touched it. So for this week, we are in between. It's still bullish, and we will see if we can push up into this area, and then I'll start looking for a short down, or if we get a push down into here, then I'll start looking to take a long. Okay. Now let's check out the pound USD. Same thing, you can see it did push down. We didn't enter it. We've had one entered back here. This was 3 weeks ago, which would have been a good trade. And then this one we came down to retest, didn't get it into the zone and just pushed right back up. So nothing new on the pound. New Zealand USD, didn't quite get that. We're still bullish on the New Zealand pairs. And no new zones to enter here. You can see if it comes down into this area, I'll look to buy. Otherwise, we just kind of hold tight. The USDCAD, we were pushing down here and didn't make it up into our zone. So like you said, if you wanted to get into a short within this candle, you could go into the daily and just see if there is a zone that you can put on your chart, which is, I see one right here starting where we're at, going up, and we are right in a potential zone here. We can break it down and go into a lower time frame, and there's our hourly come up into it and see if we get another test and possibly a drop. And if we go into the 15, you can see if I was running the trend report on this one, I wouldn't have taken a short because it wasn't a lower high and a lower low. But this one here, it would have got into a short if you had set up the EA on here to run on the 15 down, and it would have hit the 3 to 1. So that's another thing I wanted to show, just breaking it down and going even further down on the time frames. Okay, so I'm going to take these off, and I'm just going to wait and see what happens here this week. See if we get a push up into here. I'll look at taking a short. USD Swiss, we are right in an area to go short, so I'll be looking to see if I can get in a short here. If we do close up and above here, then this will be no longer valid, and I'll wait for the next one, or I'll wait for a dynamic support to be made. But we are in a sell zone here on the USD Swiss. And then the USD Yen, nothing too exciting. We are pushing down. We've got a bearish candle here and then a pause candle. So if you did want to, like I said, you can look down one time frame, go to the daily, and just see if there is anything where there's a potential short, starting at the first candle here and working our way up. You can see the pattern right here, a red, blue, and a red. So we can put our lines in here and just see what happens if it gets up into this area. This is a tight zone, so you probably enter on the 15 and just see if you get a 15-minute trade in this zone to the downside. But for right now, you do have a better setup on the USD Swiss. So I would stay away from the USD Yen and just stick with the USD Swiss and look for shorts on there, which is what I'm doing. So, but I did want to show again how you can go down to the daily and just refine and see if there's any better zones within the daily to go along downside the weekly. So that's it for the USD pairs this week, and we will talk to you guys later.